There are over 200 settings in Excel options, and in this video, we're gonna look at 10 that will save you time and improve your Excel life. And at the end of the video, I threw in a bonus, which is a bit of a tease because it's a feature that's not yet available. So let's get to it. So first up, if you've ever typed the word January or Jan in a cell and then used the fill handle here to get a list of months, this magic is actually a feature in Excel. To find it, we're gonna go File, Options. It's going to open up the Excel options window where we have over 200 different options and settings. We're going to go into the Advanced tab here, scroll all the way to the bottom and click Edit Custom Lists. And this is where these lists are stored. And the cool part is you can actually create your own list. So you can do that by clicking New List right here, and you can just type in entries right here. Or what I like to do is click this button and then find a list, an existing list on the sheet, which I have right here. I'm just going to select this, and then I'm going to click Import, and that will import all of the entries here into the custom list. We'll go ahead and hit OK again, and now within any workbook on my computer, I could just type the word regions and then use the fill handle to quickly auto-complete all of my regions. So I don't have to copy this from another workbook or something like that. This can save a lot of time. And I should note that I'm using the Windows desktop version of Excel for this video, but a lot of these settings are also available on the Mac version by going to Excel Preferences. And I'll note the specific menu locations of those settings throughout this video. If you're printing documents, you can use Control P to see a print preview. Now, when you escape out of this or exit out of this, you're gonna see these lines right here, these dotted lines, and these are the page breaks. And sometimes to me, these are a bit annoying. Fortunately, we can turn them off in Excel options. So again, we're gonna go to the Advanced tab here. We're gonna scroll about halfway down this time until we see Display Options for this worksheet. And right here, Show Page Breaks, we can uncheck that, hit OK, and that will remove those dotted lines. And one little pro tip here, as it says it's displaying the options for this worksheet, but you can change the sheet right here and then modify the settings for that sheet. And this just saves time from having to close and reopen the Excel options window. Now, when I'm printing documents or maybe copying reports to PowerPoint, I often like to use these gray borders, but this color can be hard to see against the default gray border color of the sheet. One way to see that is if we turn the grid lines off. So View tab, uncheck grid lines, we can now see that we also have some borders applied out here to these cells that aren't used. But if you want to keep the grid lines on, which you often might, another way to do this is go File, Options. Again, we're going to go Advanced, and we're going to go down to that same section here. And we also have an option for Gridline Color. So we can change this to another color. I'll just choose this bright blue color, hit OK, and now the grid lines are bright blue, which allows that gray to stand out, and this can make it easier to see some formatting that you might have applied elsewhere. And when you want to change that back, under Gridline Color, just choose Automatic, that's the default color, and that will change it back to gray. When you're in a brand new workbook and you hit Control S, that's going to open up this window here. Or if you hit Control O, that'll open up this window, which is called Backstage. And oftentimes I want to hit Browse here to go find a folder location on my computer. You can actually bypass this Backstage. There's a few ways to do it. First of all, you can use F12. So if I hit F12 on the keyboard, that's going to open up the Save As window. If I hit Control F12, that's going to open up the Open window, again in this File Explorer view that allows me to browse folders on my computer. But if you prefer to use Control S and Control O, again, we can go into Options here. On Save, we can check this box that says Don't show the backstage when opening or saving files with keyboard shortcuts. Hit OK there. Now when I hit Control S, that's going to open up this view. And again, if I hit Control O, it'll also open up that view to open a file. And before we get to the next tip, if you feel like you're going to be opening Excel options frequently, there's a few shortcuts. First of all, Alt-F-T will open Excel options. Another shortcut is to add it to the Quick Access toolbar. So here I'm going to go More Commands. We're going to go File tab, then scroll down to Options, and then Add. We'll add this over to the Quick Access toolbar, and now we can just press this button right here to open Excel options. Excel tables are an awesome feature of Excel, but one thing that trips people up with Excel tables, especially when they're new, is table formulas, or what are called structured references, which look like this. This can be a bit confusing for users that haven't seen them before. And fortunately, we can turn these off. Again, we'll go into Excel options, under formulas here, use table names as formulas. We're going to uncheck that and hit OK. Now when we write a formula, we'll just get regular cell references. This will still add to our table, but it's using regular cell references. Now unchecking that setting will not change any existing formulas. These formulas still contain table references, but any new formulas that we write will just contain regular cell references. I have a separate video that explains this in more detail. I'll link that up in the description below. When creating pivot tables, which are summary reports, their default view is called compact, and it creates a report with these subtotals at the top. A lot of users don't like this look, and fortunately we can change it. Now you can manually change it every time you create a pivot table by going to the Design tab, and then for report layout, showing it in a tabular form. We can even insert blanks after each section here, which gives it a nicer look. But instead of doing that manually every time, we can actually change this in Excel options. Under data here, we have this make changes to the default layout of pivot tables, and we'll click edit default layout. And this takes us into this window where we can change the subtotal settings. We can do this in a tabular format. We can even insert blank lines. But we can also hit pivot table options, and this will jump us into the pivot table options window, which has over 30 different settings for pivot tables. So if you frequently go into this menu to change some of these options, you can do this here. We'll go ahead and hit OK. We've made some of those changes, hit OK, and then hit OK again. And now when I insert a new pivot table, I'll just go ahead and insert a new pivot table on a new sheet. When we do that and we create that same report, this is going to have the layout that we just specified. So instead of that old default layout, we can now specify our defaults, and any new pivot tables we create will be displayed this way, and this can save you a lot of time from clicking through all those settings menus. And another common issue with pivot tables is when you drag a field that contains dates into the rows or columns area, it automatically groups those into years, quarters, and months and collapses them. Now there is a way around this, and I'm first going to remove all of these date fields out of the rows area. We're then going to go to Excel options, under data, disable automatic grouping of dates in pivot tables, OK. And now when we drag that same date field into the rows area, it will not group them. And of course, you can still group the dates. You can do that from the Analyze tab here by hitting Group Field, or you can also do that from the right-click menu. And it's important to understand the different settings levels. So most of the settings in the Excel options window are application level settings. And what that means is that they don't travel with the workbook. These are settings that are set on the user's computer. For example, if we jump back here to the custom lists that we looked at as the first tip here, these custom lists will be set on your computer. Even if you use one of these custom lists in a workbook and then send that workbook to someone else, they will not be able to generate the custom lists with the fill handle. They will need to set this up on their computer. So that's an application level setting. Some of these settings are workbook or worksheet specific. And if we scroll down here under display options for this workbook, these would all be options that travel with this workbook or are saved with this workbook. Same with these worksheet level settings. Sometimes it can be difficult to figure out if it's an application versus a workbook level setting, but in general, just assume it's application level unless otherwise specified. When you're filtering a column of dates, the dates here in the filter drop-down menu are collapsed by default, and it might take a few clicks to get this to a specific date you're looking for. You can get around this by going to Excel options, advanced. We're going to scroll down to options for this workbook, and we're going to uncheck group dates in the auto filter menu. Go ahead and hit OK. And now, as you can see, all of the dates are not grouped, and you can quickly find an individual date. Depending on how many dates you have in your list, this may or may not be useful, but the nice part is it's a workbook level setting, so when you open a different workbook, you won't have this setting applied. When you select a range of cells, the Quick Analysis button will appear, and clicking this button will open up this window that shows a lot of different ways to quickly analyze your data. One that I like is under totals. If you scroll over, we have percentage of column totals. We can just click this, and this will create a formula here that's going to calculate the percentage of the column total for each of these numbers. Now, if you don't like this button appearing every time you make a selection, you can go into Excel options. On General, you can uncheck Show Quick Analysis Options. Hit OK now, and we won't see that button, but you can still press Control Q to open up the Quick Analysis window. One quick note is I've recently noticed this has been rebranded to the Copilot icon, but it still does open Quick Analysis. If the search box is getting in your way up here, you can collapse it. Excel Options under General, collapse Microsoft Search, and that'll just create a button for it instead, which is still easily accessible. A few other ones here under the Excel Options General. If you're on Excel 2019 or earlier, you can change this to one sheet. It's now defaulted to one sheet, but that way when you create a new workbook, there's only one sheet in it instead of three. Also, if you want to make the default font size a little larger, you can do that right here, and all new workbooks that you create will have a larger font size. And if you ever work with numbers with leading zeros, here we'll put in this area code for Boston, which starts with a 0. When we hit enter in Excel, that's going to convert it to a number and remove the 0. So what we actually need to do is type an apostrophe, then 02125, hit enter. That will store it as text and we'll see the 0. But Excel has a new option. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Under Excel Options, Data, we can see down here we have this automatic data conversion section, and right here, remove leading zeros and convert to number. We can uncheck that, hit OK, and now when we go to the cell, I do not have to type the apostrophe, just type in the number, and that will automatically store it as text. The reason I'm calling this one a bonus is because this feature is still in beta. It's been in beta for a long time. I'm not sure when it's going to make it to the production version of Excel. There are some other nice features here for data conversion as well, along with opening a CSV file and having these settings applied. I have a separate video that covers this in more detail. I'll link that up in the description below. So those are some settings that I find useful, but with over 200 others, I'm curious to know which Excel options you use the most. Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe to get notified when we publish our next tutorial. And if you want to see even more useful Excel tips, then check out this video next. Thanks again for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.